Hello, you beautiful people. 2024 is done and dusted. Another year down, another year older, and another year of seasonal anime. 2024 was a surprisingly really good year for anime, with several new debut anime really kind of making name for themselves and making some major waves, with the likes of like Kaiju 8, as well as Solo Leveling, and obviously the anime of the year, Dandadan. However, that's in the past. Today we are looking forward into the future, specifically the newest seasonal anime for winter 2025. Hello everyone, I'm Finn. Welcome back to Finn Films. Join me today as once again we are talking seasonal anime, specifically everything that you need to watch and be aware of for winter 2025. To anticipated anime season sequels like the second season of Solo Leveling, the second season of Apothecary Diaries, and the fourth season of one of my favorite anime, Dr. Stone, to what might be the most hyped anime for winter 2025, Sakamoto Days, and even a Power Ranger Isekai? Okay, so I want to start things off with what is one of my favorite anime to come out in like the last 5, 6, 7 years, the fourth season of Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is an adventure comedy kind of sci-fi shonen anime done by TMS Entertainment and produced by Toho Animations. Dr. Stone basically tells the story of kind of the new Stone Age, the reset of the Earth. Dr. Stone is a comedy sci-fi kind of shonen anime which tells the story of three high school friends, specifically one, my boy Senku, a boy genius, as suddenly the world is turned to stone. Everyone in the world is turned to stone, potentially thousands of years passing as the world progresses into a Stone Age. We follow our three main characters as they look to survive in this new Stone Age, as Senku tries to advance, human technology all the way back into the modern present, doing so through all sorts of crazy science shenanigans. I absolutely love this anime. It's absolutely amazing. It's one of those really fun anime where you get to learn stuff while you watch them do all sorts of crazy cool stuff, and it has crazy animations on top of it. One of my favorite things about anime or anime that really go super deep on a topic, whether it's like sports anime, specifically like Hajime no Ippo, or something like another anime which we're going to talk about here in this video, like Apothecary Diaries, or something like Dr. Stone in the aspect of science, anime that really go in depth on a topic, anime where you actually can learn real world information about a thing, whether it's something like making a car from scratch, like in what is the second season, I believe, of Dr. Stone. I love anime and manga where it's really obvious that the writer, the author, the creator really did like a deep dive on a topic, and they like relay all this information from the topic in a really fun, like interesting way. And literally that is Dr. Stone down to a T when it comes to all sorts of science and crazy like inventions and technology in those aspects. I'm a super big fan of this anime. I just think it's a lot of fun. It does everything I love in this type of anime. It has really fun, cool action scenes. It's got really cute, wholesome characters with really cool kind of character, growth and relationships. The story is really solid. There's all sorts of twists and turns, and it has a really good premise, just individual premise for an anime, something that allows it to, really expand upon for many, many seasons. This idea of Senku, slowly bringing humanity back into kind of the modern age of technology while using, really creative, like interesting, like different ways of science to get us there from the Stone Age. Basically, he's speed running the Stone Age into the modern age, just one man, one little boy genius, and I absolutely love it. If somehow you haven't heard of Dr. Stone or haven't watched it before, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun and you will learn a ton, and I am really looking forward to the fourth season of Dr. Stone. I think it's going to be a banger. In the same vein, we have one of the most hyped anime for winter 2025, an anime which has been one of the most popular anime of all time, especially to come out in the last few years, and that is the second season of Apothecary Diaries. Apothecary Diaries is a kind of drama, mystery, historical anime which tells the story of a female apothecary named Mao Mao. Mao Mao, an apothecary's diary, has been plucked from her peaceful life and sold to the lowest echelons of the imperial court. Now merely a maid, Mao Mao settles into her new mundane life and hides her extensive knowledge of medicine in order to avoid any unwanted attention. However, not long after Mao Mao's arrival, the emperor's infant child inexplicably begins to experience grave symptoms, almost as if a curse has been cast upon it. The curious Mao Mao easily solves the mystery and tries to remain out of the limelight, attempts to leave an anonymous tip. However, the dashing and perceptive eunuch Jinshi sees through it and manages to single her out. Mao Mao continues to remedy the numerous ailments afflicting the imperial court. Her pharmaceutical expertise quickly proves indispensable. Apothecary Diary is extremely similar to Dr. Stone in a variety of ways, specifically though in the way that you're going to learn a lot in watching this anime. Not only that, it is pretty historically accurate for, I believe, Imperial China in its setting and how it kind of looks to solve a lot of these problems, specifically how Mao Mao tries to solve a lot of medical problems using her apothecary pharmaceutical knowledge. In specifically, using, apothecary things from this time period to solving, all of these medical ailments. And it's a really fun, really interesting show to watch. As well, it's a pretty unique show because oftentimes a show like this, a show that would have, kind of like a main character that solves all the problems, kind of a la Dr. Stone, Senku from Dr. Stone. Generally, it's a male main character, and this one, stands out for being a female main character. And the way that the, Mao Mao goes about solving many of these problems is super fun and interesting to watch. Again, this is an anime where you are going to passively learn a ton. You're going to learn so much about really interesting kind of medical terminology and things, especially in a historical context, as well as the fact that it takes place in Imperial China, which I believe is right, is super interesting. Big fan of this anime. It's definitely an anime that really surprised me. I was genuinely shocked how much I really enjoyed season 1 of this anime, especially considering the kind of premise of the anime being a, basically like a, medical type anime. But it really is interesting and entertaining. You learn a lot, and I'm pretty excited for the second season of Apothecary Diaries. I am curious to see if the second season will be able to live up to the hype of the first season, as this first season of this anime was extremely good and definitely caught a lot of, anime fans off guard who weren't aware of this manga at all. So I am always curious with animes like this that really kind of come out of nowhere and garner a big fan base and have a really good, solid season 1, if the season 2 is going to be able to follow up to what is a really solid, really good season 1. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see, though I do have really high hopes for the Apothecary Diaries. Moving on, I want to talk about an anime that is not nearly as popular as the anime that we have discussed so far, but an anime that kind of caught my radar for its very interesting kind of premise, the anime called Zenshu. After graduating from high school, Natsuko Hirose starts her career as an animator. Her talent quickly flourishes and she makes her debut as a director in no time, her first anime becoming a massive hit, sparking a social phenomenon and earning her recognition as an up-and-coming genius director. Her next project is set to be a romantic comedy movie themed around first love. However, having never been in love herself, Natsuko struggles to understand the concept of first love, and as a result, she's unable to create the storyboard, causing the movie production to come to a standstill.
So at first glance, Zenshu seems to be a kind of wholesome slice of life anime about an anime director and anime artist, but this quickly turns into an isekai of all things. But not just any isekai, an isekai that actually takes a kind of very unique, take on this very oversaturated genre, as our main character, the anime director, gets reborn into the anime world of her favorite childhood anime, the anime that inspired her to become an animator in the first place, which allows her to change the outcome of the anime story with her artistic ability real time within the story. And I honestly can't believe I'm saying this with how much I've come to absolutely hate isekai, but I'm actually looking forward to this isekai anime.
As well, this anime was on my radar because it is done by MAPPA, and everyone's on the MAPPA hype train since all of the really solid MAPPA anime to come out there. Generally, over the last few years, especially since Attack on Titan, anytime MAPPA gets involved with a project, there will be a little bit of hype behind it. And to be fair to MAPPA, they generally never miss when it comes to picking an anime that they want to work on as an animation studio. And I'm genuinely curious to see how Zenshu turns out. And it seems like, visually, it's going to look really great. Again, this is MAPPA, and it makes sense why MAPPA would want to make an anime about making an anime, as it does kind of work. And I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this. I think that this anime could be a surprise anime hit to come out of winter 2025. An anime, though, that I am super excited for is an anime that might be the most hyped anime of 2025, Sakamoto Days, coming in its debut season. Haru Sakamoto was considered the greatest hitman of all time. Feared by many, he stood at the top of the underground world until he met and fell in love with a woman. As a result, Sakamoto abandoned his life of crime and now works as a convenience store clerk. Leaving his shady past behind proves more difficult than Sakamoto initially imagined. Many of his former rivals and partners do not believe that he has truly left the business and show up in the hopes of taking him out. Barred from killing, Sakamoto must find creative ways to subdue his enemies and prevent them from bringing harm to his family, his store, and the small town he resides in. Again, Sakamoto Days might be one of the most hyped upcoming animes, especially for winter 2025, and that's because this manga has some of the most insane fight scenes I've ever seen from any anime, probably ever. Sakamoto Days, if you can tell, is an action comedy anime which primarily focuses around the very unique fight scenes that occur in this anime. As we read from the synopsis, Sakamoto, being barred from killing, is forced to overcome the many rivals that come to take him out in very creative and fun ways. Again, this manga has some of the craziest fight scenes I have seen from like any manga, especially that has come out in like the last, 10 years. Its fight scenes are absolutely insane. So this anime really has a lot of hype behind it, and I'm worried that it might actually have too much hype. From what I've seen from watching the trailers, as well as from many of the comment sections, especially in the Japanese comment sections for the Japanese trailer, people are really worried that this anime, from an animation standpoint, may not live up to the hype of its amazing manga. Irregardless, I do think that this anime will be good. I do think that it will be funny, and I do think that it will be extremely entertaining. But at the end of the day, Sakamoto Days, the core of it, what makes it entertaining, is the insane, very unique fight scenes. I mean, just take a look at these panels from the manga. Some of these fight scenes in these panels are absolutely outrageous. So in order to do it justice, it really does need an animation studio that can capture the insanity of a lot of these fight scenes. I am a bit worried, from what I've seen from the trailers, that TMS isn't going to do that, and maybe this anime won't be as good as it possibly could have been had it been done by another studio, maybe like someone like MAPPA or Studio Bones or someone else. However, I don't want to prejudge it too much just from what I've seen from the trailers. Irregardless, I do think this anime will be really, really fun, and it is an anime that I am probably looking forward to the most out of winter 2025. I think even if the fight scenes in the anime don't live up to how crazy they are in the manga, I know a bunch of manga fans would be disappointed. However, when it comes to manga fans, it's almost impossible to please them with anime adaptations. At the end of the day, I think that Sakamoto Days is going to be a good anime. The question, I think, is, will it be as good as it could? As I do think that this anime has the potential to be one of the standout animes of the entire year of 2025. If the animation studio, if TMS Entertainment are able to do this anime justice, this anime could easily be the best anime of 2025. However, we're just going to have to wait and see. I do recommend this anime, though. I do recommend giving it a watch and also checking out the manga, as again, this anime has some of the most outrageous, ridiculous, insane fight scenes I've seen, from any manga in a long time, even going as far as to be more insane than something like the likes of Baki. Keep your eye out on Sakamoto Days. This anime does have the ceiling. It does have the potential to be one of the best anime that come out this entire year. Real quickly, I want to touch on a little obscure anime that might be one of the most insane, ridiculous animes that I looked at when I was looking through the drudges of winter 2025. One of the many isekais to come out in winter 2024, the Power Rangers Isekai. The Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. In the final battle against the evil exterminators, Asagaki, a Power Ranger, traded his life for the enemies. It seemed like everything was over, but suddenly he found himself in another world. He becomes an adventurer, transforming into Kazuna Red, and continues his fight to save people in trouble. Here he meets a young wizard named Idala, and his journey in this new world begins. Yeah, quite literally, this is literally just Power Ranger the Isekai. Now, if you've watched any of my anime videos throughout the years, you know that I am completely sick and tired of isekai. This genre is so oversaturated, it's not even funny. The amount of isekais out there are just absolutely dreadful, and I genuinely am wondering who is watching all of these isekais. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like this genre is going to die anytime soon, as they keep producing all sorts of absolutely insane, ridiculous isekai dribble and trash. This, out of all of them, seems to be one of the most unique ideas ever. Taking Power Rangers, the franchise and being like, yeah, we can make an isekai out of that. This anime seems absolutely ridiculous. I have no idea if it'll be any good, but yeah, I had to talk about Power Ranger isekai of all things. Finally, we have to talk about what is easily the most probably hyped, anticipated anime of 2025, and that is the sequel of Solo Leveling, the Korean manhwa that made waves in its debut last January in 2024. Yes, only a year later, and A1 Productions, A1 Pictures is already putting out the second season of Solo Leveling, which definitely makes me wonder if it was already in the works to come out a year later, if they already continued working on it whenever this anime debuted last January. I really hope so. I really hope that this the second season of Solo Leveling wasn't rushed after the really big major success of Solo Leveling last year. I did a whole video ranking what I think are some of the best anime that came out in 2024, and honestly, in my opinion, Solo Leveling easily could have been the best anime that came out in 2024. I think if it hadn't have come out in winter of 2024 in January, so early on in the year, if it would have came out later in the year, I think because of recency bias, it might have actually won. It might have actually beaten out Dawn to Dawn for being the best anime of the year, as it definitely made waves. I've talked about Solo Leveling many times on this channel throughout many different videos, but if you don't know, Solo Leveling is another example of kind of a fantasy, tropey meets video game trope in our world type anime. It takes kind of the isekai genre of taking someone into a fantasy world, giving them fantasy kind of video game powers, but then it flips it on its head by bringing that into our world, which is what I think is a very creative, unique idea. And also, it's also extremely dark and real, which makes it really stand out from many other anime that use these tropes and genres, being very hard-hitting, very much for adults. Aniplex producing some really high-quality, intense animations, making it have a very unique kind of feel and take on a lot of these genres, the fantasy, video game, trapped in a video game-esque type genres, which we are very, very familiar with in the anime world. It takes all of these things and really kind of turns it on its head for a very unique and fun anime. As well, it is a Korean webtoon, a Korean manhwa, which I think is awesome, as there are really, really a lot of really interesting Korean webtoons and manhwa out there. So it's really cool to see them getting the hype and kind of praise that they deserve. As again, Solo Leveling was easily one of the best anime to be released in 2024. For many people, it might actually be the best anime of 2024, and I'm very excited to see the second season of Solo Leveling. I am a little bit tentatively cautious about the second season, though. Sometimes when a second season of an anime, especially when the anime does so well in its debut, comes out so quickly, only a year after the first season, it does make me wonder if possibly the second season of this anime was rushed. Again, Solo Leveling is probably easily the most hyped anime of winter 2025. It might be one of the most hyped animes of 2025 as a whole, and it is a really fun way to kick off the new year with the hyped second season of Solo Leveling just a year after its debut. And I think if this anime continues to live up to the hypes of season 1, it could easily, again, like Sakamoto Days, be one of the best anime to come out in the entire year, getting it all the way, in the start of the year, kicking it off with some really, really major banger, interesting animes. 2025 is going to continue where 2024 left off and give us a number of really solid, good anime over the course of the year, and there are definitely some really hype anime that are coming out this winter in the second season of Solo Leveling, the second season of Apothecary Diaries, as well as the debut of Sakamoto Days, an anime which could potentially be the best anime to come out this year if it can live up to the lofty heights set out by the manga. Let me know in the comment section down below what anime you are most excited for to come out in winter 2025. If I didn't cover it, let me know in the comment section. What anime should I check out? What obscure anime do you think are going to be really, really good from winter 2025? Let me know in the comment section. If you did enjoy this video or learn something new, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as that is the easiest way to help support me, and it really does go a long way in putting this video into the algorithm. If you did enjoy this video, then want to check out some of my other anime content on screen now. And thank you all again so much for continuing to support me. I hope to see you in the next one. Until next time, peace, love, Radu.